Welcome back to another episode of the Purpose Center series Self Care Sundays, a holistic approach to a healthier you. I'm Alyssa, and today we have Felicia Kelly with us from Indigo Interactions. I'll let Felicia introduce herself, and then we'll get right into today's episode on energy, healing, and coaching.
Hi, guys. Thank you for inviting me in your space. My name is Felicia Kelly. I am the current CEO and founder of Indigo Interactions LLC. This is a newer formed, I would say, business holistic healing, holistic healing center that just recently opened this past February. We what we did, what was the bigger idea of actually Indigo is merging psychology and holistic health into one particular item. So what we did, we included coaching, yoga, healing teas, energetic healing. We merged it all into one particular practice, and that's what we're offering to our community right now.
Could you explain energy healing for anyone who might not know?
Okay. So to make it a little quick, so as far as consciousness, what we believe here is that it's divided actually into four planes. So you have the physical plane, you have the emotional plane, you have the mental plane, and then you have the spiritual plane. So what we like to do here is just to ensure that all of those planes are moving smoothly and correctly, kind of like your chakras do. So if you're having any particular physical pain, we won't just focus on the physical. We'll move into your mental thoughts, your emotional being, and also your spiritual. So when it comes to the healing, depending on which practice you choose, whether it's yoga, Reiki, or energetic head healing is what we call it, that will actually determine where the issue is. So if it's particularly, I would say spiritual, we'll do more of the head healing. If it's more physical, we'll move into the yoga and things of that nature. So just remember the bigger picture is that your body or your consciousness is divided into four planes, and we just like for them all to be moving as they should.
Okay. Okay. And how did you personally discover energy healing?
To be really honest with you, it started back, I would say maybe more so my young adult years. Just the day-to-day struggles and stresses of life. As I would say, as I matured and I got older and I start to understand how physical pain manifests from mental health or just like stress in general, I delve in a little deeper. And that actually got me into my psychology career that I have now. So moving through life, things happen, and to be really honest with you, as I got older, things got better, but I still wasn't happy. I still wasn't satisfied. I still was having anxiety and panic attacks. So I knew that it wasn't just my environment or my surroundings; it had to be something in the inside. So that's what got me more so into the energetic healing, spiritual and mental and emotional.
You also talked about how you do coaching at Indigo Interactions, right?
Mhm.
Could you talk about what coaching kind of looks like for your clients?
So our coaching here is actually therapy with no clinical strings
Okay.
attached. Meaning, it's sort of like we wanted to give like a big brothers, big sisters program feel,
Mhm.
but for adults, essentially. So we're going to meet you exactly where you are. So remember, coaching is more so goal oriented, and therapy is more so, I would say, process
Mhm.
oriented. So coaching is a little bit shorter term, therapy longer term, but we meet you exactly where you are with our coaching, literally. So most of our sessions won't actually happen here in the office. It's wherever you need to be. So whether it's a park, a coffee shop,
Oh,
just
wow.
taking a walk, or we will meet you where you are. Because a lot of times you and I both understand that sitting within four walls can be quite traumatic at times. So we wanted to maybe change that up a little bit and get some fresh air or maybe go to a museum. And I just think that that will open up conversation and just open up, our clients' willingness to speak a little bit better. So we will move through the psychological, I would say, theories and practices as we speak, of course, but
Mhm.
more so in your environment or where you feel most comfortable.
Yeah, that's awesome. And
Mhm.
are there specific problems that you find to be like common issues when people are coming to you for coaching?
Absolutely. Definitely stress because everyone is stressed. But I think with just the way that society is set up and the many hats that we wear every day, I think the biggest problem that I have seen with especially the adults is the ability to remain present or the ability to be grounded and stay in the moment. So a lot of times we're faced with this is going off. I got to, send this email, meet this person, and we're pulled in different ways, and we don't have the time or the willingness or just like the knowledge on centering ourselves. So we focus definitely on meditation, breathing, and things to help to keep you grounded. Yeah.
And then what does a typical day at Indigo Interactions look like?
Well, for us, we start out usually if we have a session, something scheduled, we usually start maybe 1 to 2 hours before because we have to clean the energy in the space. So we do have different people coming in, different problems, different just everything. So we like to clean the space. So our space is very sacred. So we take about an hour or so to clean that, depending on what you need. So if you're coming in, more than likely you're doing either a Reiki session, yoga, or either like a head clean or energetic alignment. And we'll get you set up for there. We'll definitely chat with you a moment in the lobby before we get started. We'll explain everything that we're going to do in that session, and then we'll debrief after we're done. Now, as mentioned with coaching, is a little different depending on where we're meeting you. So if we're meeting you out, I would say at a park, we'll just start our coaching at the park, opposed to starting here.
And the three things you mentioned when it comes to energy healing, it was Reiki, yoga, and the head energy cleaning, correct?
Yes, the
Could you
energy alignment.
energy alignment? Could you explain some of like the emotional and physical benefits of the three of those things within energy healing?
The emotional benefits. So understand that anytime we do any type of work, whether it's spiritual work, psychology, it's reciprocity is involved. So the benefits is for both parties. So as I'm helping you bring awareness, because remember, I honestly believe that most people really want to heal, really want to be their best selves. And here at Indigo, we're just simply here to remind you that you are great. But sometimes we forget. So we're here to guide you through that process, not to necessarily solve any issues that you have, but to help you ask the right questions so you can get to the right answer. So as far as emotionally, we help people gain confidence. We help people learn to ask the right questions. We help people ground themselves enough where they can recognize, you know what, my anxiety is kind of being triggered right now. What's really going on? What am I really feeling? As far as physical wise, just the calmness, the meditation, the mindfulness, the breathing, that not only helps you settle down, but it helps the immune system and your muscles and your bones and everything else, in your body. So health wise, it helps people focus and want to eat better, want to exercise, want to spend, time with family and things of that nature.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like it helps them, as you mentioned earlier, stay in the present and recognize
Yes.
where they are physically and then emotionally bring themselves where they are
Because that's all
present.
we have, and that's why it's called a present, because it's actually a gift. It's a gift to you to be able to be in the moment. A lot of people, I hate to sound, sad, but a lot of people don't get to see the next day. And so
Mhm.
that's why we honor today. We take it as a present. Of course, we're going to, touch on the past a little bit, but I don't feel that in all cases it's beneficial to stay in the past when discussing like goals.
Mhm. And it reminds me, my professor, I think, once would always say, like, "Be where your feet are," and I think that's so important within holistic
Absolutely.
health and just remembering to stay present, which sounds like basically Indigo Interactions' main goal is just to bring people to where they are and recognize the present
Yeah.
moment.
Absolutely. We're just helping you to remember how great you are because you're awesome anyway. So we're just here to, hey, we're your coaches, your cheerleaders.
Okay, so Indigo Interactions is great. What's the most rewarding part of your work there?
To see people figure it out. I know, just as a professional, you get a little sad when, you get to the end of your therapy with your client, but to see people gain confidence and to actually figure things out themselves, I think is the best reward. Just the confidence, just the honesty, just the transparency that people gain from working with us. That makes me smile. It makes me smile. I want them to get to a point where they can take care of their issues by themselves, whether it's physical, mental, or emotional.
What do you feel would be the most daunting part of your job?
The I guess just the honest piece that some people aren't ready. We want to heal, we want to be in better spaces, but you also have to have that inner drive. And working with some of the clients, we realized that right now is not their time, to begin that process or to start their journey. So sometimes they have to come back and start over, which is absolutely fine. But I would say that is probably the most daunting part of it, is sometimes we actually recognize that it's not that person's time. Yeah.
And how would you say that your work has impacted your clients' mental health and your own mental health?
Clients' mental health. As I had stated before, um, their ability to cope, their ability to ground themselves without I would say, without my help all the time. When you're out in the world, and like we always say, the real deal, real life starts once you step off of the mat. So once you're on
Mhm.
the mat, you can breathe, you got meditation, you can center yourselves, but the real healing starts once you get off of the mat. And that's where I see most of our clients improving. And I would say energetically, they gain more energy from being more confident. They gain more energy from wanting to eat well, wanting to, go into these yoga poses when they know that they're beginning to get stressed out. And a lot of times our clients will, engage in poses or sessions without our help. Hey, I tried this and it really helped, this ache in my back. Or I remember when you told me that when my wrists are hurting, that means that I'm pushing myself too much. So they start making connections between the physical and the spiritual part of their bodies. Now, as far as us, the more we work with them, the more practice we gain on ourselves. I've found out just through working with clients, there is some areas that I still need to work on with, anxiety or anger or, things. But I also try to approach, my own life as I would a client. So I'm my own client first. So I'm
Mhm.
learning as I'm teaching them.
And for your clients, if you're offering the services of energy healing and coaching, do you find that most will overlap and you'll do both for a client, or is it like completely separate worlds for your clients where it's like you can
No,
either do
absolutely.
okay.
Yeah, they overlap a lot. Because usually, like I said, most people when they come in initially, it's for something really visible. So either they have a pain in their back or either they're having panic attacks. But the more and more we work and through coaching, we understand that it's triggered by certain things, whether it's smells, colors, things that happen in childhood, something your boss may have said. But those core beliefs tend to come up through just our coaching, and we're understanding that you can't just work on the physical without taking care of the spiritual. Like everything is intertwined, like always.
Yeah, yeah. And if there's something that you wish you could just have everyone take away from Indigo Interaction, something that you've learned, what's one thing that you wish everyone could take away in relation to mental health?
That everyone at all times are exactly where they should be. So I know we have goals and we create goals. We spend a lot of time, during our intake sessions, creating goals, but I would like for people to take away that where you are right now is where you should be. You shouldn't really strive to be anywhere, because it's going to happen when it needs to happen. So it doesn't need to be pushed. You don't need to compare yourself to any peers or any instructors or anyone really. Just remember that you will be taken care of, not just by yourself, but just by whatever you believe in. Like I do believe the greater good is here to guide us through this process. So you're never alone, and you're always where you should be at all times. So breathe and relax. We got you.
Yeah, definitely. And the fact that there's so many holistic options within treatments for mental or physical health, like things people
Absolutely.
didn't even know about. I'm sure a ton of people don't even know about energy healing and haven't thought about that as an option.
Yeah, yeah, we've been doing it for years. People have been doing it for years. Women, especially, have been doing it for years. I think, just recently, we've just given it names. but we've always given each other a hug when someone is
Mhm.
feeling sad, and that is energy healing. Like I'm passing my positive energy on to you. So it's always been around. It just has a title now.
Yeah, that's amazing and just something that people can actually look into as opposed to just thinking that there's only medicine or there's only standard therapy that they have
No,
to
no,
look
no,
into to try and
absolutely not.
treat themselves.
Yeah, hug a tree. Tree is switch energy, which should make you feel better.
That would be a good one to add.
Yes.
And then I was actually wondering, so you mentioned Reiki. Could you explain what that is for anyone who might not know?
So Reiki actually can be deemed as energetic healing and not necessarily working particularly with your chakras, because remember the chakras are in certain parts of the body, but Reiki we don't actually touch, but we maneuver the energy from the, I would say, the universe, and we channel it down into your body. So if you have particular pains or I would say blocks in certain area, the positive energy that we ask to come down will actually move through the body and clear that negativity out of your body. And usually those sessions are maybe about 45 minutes to an hour, but I've had nothing but positive feedback from Reiki. And, you know, a lot of times we think that we have to actually touch, but like I say, energy is so powerful, you typically don't have to touch anyone to send that positivity and healing to the next person.
Wow. I didn't know, and I was a little curious to hear more about that
Yeah, yeah,
aspect
we just
within
move down
energy
your body,
healing.
almost like a
Yeah,
body scan.
yeah. It's amazing to learn about how many different holistic health options there
Oh my
are, and
gosh, it's insane. I love it. I love it.
and everything's great to venture into and just grow more as your own person.
Absolutely. They have Reiki for pets
Oh,
as well.
really?
Yes, yes, absolutely. I was thinking about my Frenchie. Sometimes I just touch him and he's like, I know what you're doing. I'm like, you need to settle down. But yeah, they have Reiki for pets, they have energetic alignment for pets. We have everything.
That's amazing. And then, what's the best way for people to connect with Indigo Interactions and discover their own energy healing and
Yes,
coaching?
ma'am. The easiest way is just to contact me at Felicia@indigointeractionsllc.org, or definitely go to the website, Indigo Interactions LLC, give us a call, and we'll respond within the next, I would say, 12 hours at the latest.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us today, Felicia.
Thank you for having me. You be blessed.
Thank you.